So you're looking for ways on how to attain money for your flip without using any of your own money for free, right? So there's a couple ways to do it. You can use hard money lending, or you can use private money, or you can just use a combination of those. So hard money lending, I'm gonna go through that. My name is Paul. I'm a flipper in Las Vegas, and I wanna walk you through what it's like actually working with a hard money lender. So the one I work with is Kiavi. I like Kiavi because their process is so simple, and if you keep working with them over time, they'll give you better and better terms over time. So better interest rates, less points, easier seamless process, and they give you money very quickly. So how does Kiavi work? Go to kiavi.com, create an account, look up the address that you're trying to flip, put in the numbers, crunch in the estimated rehab costs, crunch in the ARV, which is your after repair value, the price that you're trying to sell it at, and then they'll tell you how much the house qualifies for a loan under them. Their loan terms are typically, they will cover for new flippers, 85 to 90% of the flip and 100% of the rehab. I didn't know this when I first started, but I learned from other flippers that a hard money lender can actually pay for all of the rehab costs and 85 to 90% of the purchase price of the house that you're trying to flip. So really you have to just come up with 10 to 15% down payment, and you can get that through your friends or family, called private money lending. That way you don't have to put any of your own money into the flip. So how does Kiavi work? After you crunch in the numbers and the numbers come out and let you know how much money you have to put down, then you submit and you call and you get on a call with the loan officer. And then you put in an offer on the house that you're trying to buy through a wholesaler or a realtor. You get under contract in that house, you send your earnest money deposit to secure that house, and then you go through title, basically an independent company where all the money is wired to, and they will make sure the title of your home is clear, meaning like nobody else can have a lien on your house. So as you're buying a house to flip, you'll make sure that you get your private money, which they call gap funding or gap lending. Private money lending, your down payment, and you send that over to the title company once you're in contract on a home. And then the other 85 to 90% of the purchase price will come from your hard money lender. I like to use Kiavi. So after you enter escrow, wire your money over, make sure everything and all the title is clear, and Kiavi can wire the money over within 2 to 3, sometimes up to 4 weeks. But if you're a new flipper, it could take 3 to 4 weeks. Once you get your account established and made, it'll take 2 weeks. So you can actually go to sellers and be like, hey, I can close a deal in 2 weeks after you've done your first flip, and Kiavi will actually wire all that money over ASAP to the title company and the seller. So that's how the Kiavi process works. There's a couple other lenders out there that I've met at meetups. There's Lima One Capital, there's Lion Capital. In Vegas, they have Landsman Lending. There's a ton out there. And before I started flipping, I didn't know about any of these. I've been looking for hard money lenders. I cold called, and they tried to explain the process to me, but it was so hard to understand. Just go to your local meetups, meet flippers. There's also hard money lenders out there. I learned from asking questions and also just doing it myself. I can explain more that goes into this. Kiavi actually also doesn't require any documents from you. They just want to know your credit score. When I talked to the lender earlier this year, he said you just need a minimum of a 660 credit score and you qualify for the loan. They don't want to see your tax returns, your pay stubs, whether you have a job or anything like that. Just your social security number and your 660 credit score, and you're good. You have to show any docs and you can get the house and a loan from them. And this isn't sponsored, by the way, from Kiavi.com or Kiavi, the bank. I don't get any sponsorships from them, but I highly recommend them because their process was so seamless. So after they wire over the money, you secure the house. Oh, one other thing is during the process of escrow, they will want to inspect the home to make sure that the house is real. I actually did a virtual inspection. They have people that they can outsource and get third-party inspectors in every city in the country. So you can do an in-person inspection tour, or you can do a virtual tour. The virtual tour was interesting. I was trying to close the house pretty fast. I didn't want to schedule an inspector. So a virtual tour, you just get on FaceTime with the inspector. The inspector that I had was out in Pittsburgh, and she wanted to watch and take photos of the whole house. And I just took photos of the house, and they came back and told me, yeah, all your numbers look good, this is a good deal, and you will qualify for the loan. So what's the caveat? Like, why would hard money lender like Kiavi or any of these people want to give you all that money for free? Well, I had that question. So I went to these meetups and I asked the hard money lending CEO, and I was like, hey, why would you do this deal to people who have, no job or anything like that? And he explained to me very simply. He said, Paul, I have a team of underwriters, people who are gonna make sure that deal that you bring to us is a real deal. Finding a deal is the hardest part. So if you bring me a deal that's worth flipping, meaning like it's at a good purchase price, it's got a good ARV, and the rehab isn't too crazy and you're gonna make profit off of it, I will lend out money to that deal. Now, if you go and flip that deal and you're a new flipper, or something goes terribly wrong and you spent all the rehab costs and it's not going well, I could seize that house and give it to another flipper because I already knew that it was a good deal. So that's what the hard money lenders put in their contract, that if you fail, they will take over the house because they have first lien position. What that means is if anything happens to the house, they get first lien on it and the title company will give the house over to them. Then they'll just give that house to another flipper that they work well with, that's flipped dozens of homes with them. So when I realized that, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. They will make sure it's a good deal, and if I mess up, they'll just give it to another flipper and I'll probably be on their blacklist. So be careful, don't end up on their blacklist. Make sure you know what you're doing when you flip. Try to find a partner, make sure you do your research, and make sure you compare all the different rates with these hard money lenders. Kiavi is not the only one. What's quite interesting that I learned during this process is once you get a good deal and they know that, all the lenders start calling you. They will want to negotiate with you. Oh, I can offer you a better interest rate. I can offer you a better terms. What are the different things that you can negotiate with the hard money lender? Well, you can say, hey, I want no points. What is a point? Well, they actually charge a point on the loan. What that means is, let's say your loan is $500K, they will charge you upfront to close the house 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 or 4 points. So a point is 1% of the loan, and you have to pay that money upfront right away. So if a loan is $500K, Kiavi will charge 2 points. That was what they did for my deal, and 2% of $500K is $10,000. So you have to pay that $10,000 at closing when you buy this house, and that's how Kiavi makes money right away. I also called Lima One Capital. I asked them what their deal was. They had different terms. Everybody's a little different, but it's all similar. So once you get into this game, you'll start knowing what to negotiate. So you always want to keep these hard money lenders in your back pocket, because over time, once you get more and more experience, they underwrite differently to your background. And maybe Lima One wasn't good for this one, but maybe the next one they do better. So just make sure to keep an open mind. So that's it for Lima One Capital. Those are 2 hard money lenders I was going through. I was actually going through 5 other ones, but those are the 2 big ones that I wanted to call out, and I ended up going with Kiavi. So if you want to learn more about hard money lending, subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below.